Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Today, we're talking about a silent revolution that's changing the way our cities breathe and live. Welcome to Electro Drive News. Imagine walking down your street, feeling the fresh air fill your lungs, without the constant reminder of pollution from cars. That's what's happening in cities all around the world as electric vehicles become increasingly popular. In 2023 alone, global EV sales grew by 35%, with US sales rising by more than 40%. That's a dramatic acceleration in adoption. Now, you might be wondering how much of an impact this can really have on air quality and public health. Well, studies have shown that regions with high EV penetration see measurable improvements in local air quality, contributing to improved public health outcomes. That means fewer tailpipe emissions on your block, cleaner air to breathe, and fewer respiratory issues tied to pollution. One of the biggest advantages of electric vehicles is how efficiently they use energy. Gas-powered cars waste most of their fuel as heat. Only about 12% to 30% actually moves the car. In contrast, EVs use over 75% of their energy to power the wheels. That means less waste and more mileage from the same amount of energy. And even when electricity comes from fossil fuels, EVs are still cleaner overall. But there's one concern that's often raised about electric vehicles: the carbon cost of battery manufacturing. Producing a typical EV battery emits between 2,400 and 16,000 kg of CO2. However, the average gas-powered car emits roughly 43,500 kg of CO2 over a standard 150,000-mile lifespan. That's a massive multiplier. In regions using cleaner energy mixes like solar or hydro, EV emissions can drop to less than half that of their gasoline counterparts. Now, let's talk about ownership costs. A 2024 Atlas Public Policy study found that EVs can save owners between $7,000 and $11,000 across the lifetime of the vehicle due to reduced fuel and maintenance costs. With fewer moving parts and regenerative braking systems, EVs have lower service requirements compared to ICE vehicles. And while insurance premiums might be higher, the total cost of ownership is increasingly favorable. Of course, there's still a barrier to adoption: range anxiety. But charging infrastructure is expanding rapidly, with over 200,000 public charging ports available across the U.S., according to the Joint Office of Energy and Transportation. In cities, the growth of on-street and garage charging stations is making EV ownership more practical for apartment dwellers and those without private driveways. Policy also plays a critical role in accelerating adoption. Governments worldwide are introducing mandates to phase out gas cars, alongside incentives like tax credits, rebates, and infrastructure grants. The EU plans to phase out new ICE vehicle sales by 2035, and China's new energy vehicle policy aims to have EVs comprise 40% of all car sales by 2030. So what can we expect from this silent revolution? Well, the cumulative data support EVs as a cornerstone of sustainable urban transportation. The shift toward electric mobility is not only reshaping the automotive industry, it's redefining how cities combat pollution, adapt to climate change, and build long-term resilience. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us on Electro Drive News.